because our friend was upset and you commented, you always go too hard. And I thought about that. And my thoughts were, the truth goes hard. I just was a vessel delivering the truth. Like, the truth speaks for itself. It stands on its own. Like, that's just, the truth is what it is. And so for the question of, okay, well, was I too hard? Was I too harsh? I think the truth just stood on its own. I just delivered it. At the same time, because here's how I thought about it. You know, if I order something from, you know, Amazon or wherever, and, you know, UPS delivers it and it shows up and I open it up and it's not what I wanted, like they sent the wrong thing, or, you know, the description didn't match, I don't get mad at the UPS driver. The UPS driver just delivered the package. I would need to be upset with myself that I didn't read the product description all that well. Am I right, Mr. Walker? You hear what I'm saying? Or I would need to be mad at them for sending the wrong thing, not the UPS driver who's just delivering it. But then as I thought about it more,
come on now,
I thought, well, if I order a package and it shows up and it is broken, then the problem is the delivery, because the package was fragile.
Yes.
And when we, you know, this is something that I just wanted for us to talk about, and our listeners might have some comments on this, but, you know, I believe in delivering the truth. If someone asks me for my opinion, I don't throw my opinion out there freely. You know, a person has to ask me, but I feel like if you ask me and you know me, you need to be ready for what I might say. At the same time, we always have to take into consideration whether or not the person that we are delivering the truth to is fragile, and then we might need to alter how we deliver it. Now, I still don't believe that I was harsh in my delivery, but I do believe that there's some fragility taking place in that situation. So that's just what my thoughts on that was. Aside from that, like, we had a great time.
Yeah, yes, we did. And you also need to understand your audience. That's another thing that I said. You also have to know your audience.
Well, that's the fragile part.
Yeah, I know.
I need our audience to not bring up things that they can't handle hearing the truth on, though, and quit asking my opinion. Okay.
Sometimes I can't stand him.
Right. All right, Stacey D. What's going on in the news?
Oh my goodness.
Give us some news.
Oh my goodness.
Headlines.
It was like really, really crazy. Now, do we remember the guy that basically upset the Capitol, the one who had the horns sticking out?
The fool with the horns and the fur.
The horns and the fur on. Yeah. Well, guess what? He was one of the ones that they did get and did put in jail. And he's upset. But I'm upset because of what you did to our Capitol. I was very emotional that day. But guess why he's upset for, JP?
Why is he upset?
Because he's 33 years old, and for 8 years, he has only been eating organic food.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not serving him any organic food.
In jail?
In jail, yeah. Our tax dollars. Even though we had to do more tax dollars to clean up, you know, that was our tax dollars doing that. So now we need to use our tax dollars to give him some organic food, because he has not eaten anything in, it's been 5 days.
So let me get this, be sure I'm clear on this.
Oh, come on.
This fool who was a part of a homicidal mob.
Exactly.
That stormed the Capitol with intentions upon killing the vice president and the Speaker of the House, Pelosi.
Yes.
He is in jail whining that he does not have organic food and he is not eaten in 5 days.
Yes.
And I assume his people are trying to get them to feed him organic food with taxpayers' money.
Yeah, they have filed a motion, yes. And then he said that he's very upset with the former president because he did not give him a pardon. Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, I had saw on the news that they reported that he said he felt betrayed by Donald Trump.
Yes, betrayed.
Why was he surprised that he was betrayed by Donald Trump?
Because Donald Trump had love for him.
Oh, it was the love.
It's the love.
I forgot about that Trump love.
And not to mention, he came all the way from Arizona. Let's get can we get the map out, Mr. Walker? How far is Arizona to Washington, D.C.? He showed his love.
Well, we talked about Trump love last week on the show when we diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder. Clearly, he has never heard of narcissistic personality disorder.
He wasn't listening last week, so he didn't get it. He didn't get it. See, we should have had the show before they done it. We should have done this in December so he could have made a better decision.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like this man has a right as an American citizen, and he has his God-given right to starve himself to death in that jail. That's how I feel. And I also feel that, how are you in jail whining about not getting organic food? That's a natural consequence, because if he truly cared about getting to eat organic food, he wouldn't have been a part of a homicidal mob storming the Capitol. You don't get to storm the Capitol and wreak havoc and terror into the lives of our elected officials and then sit in jail and whine and say I haven't eaten in 5 days because you all won't give me organic food. Who cares? They better not give him organic food.
So what's going on in entertainment? I have to help Gerald out.
Right, because I'm getting all worked up. He can starve to death. Okay. Here's what's going on. On a sadder note, in entertainment news, we lost the great Cicely Tyson last week, on Thursday, actually. And this is something that it saddened me to hear, that I grew to have more and more respect for Cicely Tyson as the years went by. What I admired more and more about her is rarely do you get to see someone age but still be so on top of their craft. Like, I think How to Get Away with Murder just went off the air last year, and in watching it, her performance was so incredible. I remember calling, my wife Nadine into the room, like, you have got to see Cicely Tyson in this role. Like, it's unbelievable. I was rewinding it. It's an hour-long show. I'm watching it like 90 minutes, 120 minutes, because Cicely was tearing it up, and it was just amazing to see someone who 95 years old had that much skill still. It was amazing. And so here's the thing. Entertainers and politicians, they have a level of passion for their work that I don't think most of society has. This explains why they will work into their 90s, whereas most of my friends are like, "Ooh, I can't wait to retire when I'm turned 65. Ooh, I'm working on early retirement. I think I'm gonna be able to retire by the time I'm 50." And for me, I love being a therapist so much that I've always felt a little out of place in those conversations, because I struggled. I can't imagine me retiring, let alone looking forward to retirement. And something that I've noticed about our actors and our politicians, like take Biden, for example, like, who's applying for a job that you got to compete with a fool to get it, and in front of the whole country at the age of 78? Like, to me, that's amazing. And Cicely, she was still acting. Like, at the time of her passing, I've been watching interviews, and these are recent interviews. She had been filming the show How to Get Away with Murder, obviously writing a book at the same time. She's doing the promo for the book. this woman was busy. In one interview, they asked for more time, and Cicely, sweet, she's like, yes, y'all can have more time. And somebody in the background was like, no, they can't. You got another interview in 15 minutes. So sorry, Miss Tyson, they're gonna have to go. That's amazing. And so really quick, her book, I purchased her book. The hard copy you can't get, it's already sold out. Wow. But I want to read a little excerpt that is in her own words. I ended up purchasing the audiobook because I'm looking forward to hearing her actual voice. You know, because
wow, that's gonna be phenomenal.
That's just I love the idea of audiobooks. I always said that I was gonna put my book in audio form so people can kind of, because when you hear the actual person, it really puts you in the spirit of what it is that they have to say. But here's an excerpt from the book. Just as I am is the title of the book, is my truth. It is me, plain and unvarnished, with the glitter and garland set aside. In these pages, I am indeed Cicely, the actress who has been blessed to grace the stage and screen for 6 decades. I am a daughter, a mother, a sister, and a friend. I am an observer of human nature and the dreamer of audacious dreams. I am a woman who is hurt as immensely as I have loved, a child of God divinely guided by his hand. And here, in my 9th decade, I am a woman who at long last has something meaningful to say. You gotta give it up for Cicely. She's amazing.
Oh yes.
So this is a huge loss. This is a huge loss.
It is.
So
it is.
All right.
Well, let's move on. So JP, what is the question of the day?
Okay. Our question of the day is, we're gonna have to get into this. How do I cope with stupid, ignorant people in the workplace and in my own family? And here's the thing. Yeah, this is a good question. Here's the reason why I thought that this was a good question. I answered it directly to the person who presented this question. But before we can really take a look at this question, we have to take a look at the terms ignorance and stupidity, because the person who presented this question presented it as if these two are synonymous, as if they are one and the same. But the truth of the matter is, ignorance and stupidity are two very different things. And so how you handle them is going to be very differently. To be ignorant is to not know. Ignorance is just a lack of knowledge, not knowing. So all of us are ignorant on many things. If someone
levels.
Yes, if someone contacts me and they want to schedule open heart surgery, I would have to say I am ignorant as to how to do that. I don't do open heart surgery. Now, if you find yourself feeling a little depressed or anxious, give me a call. I don't do open heart surgery.
Super therapist.
Well, not that super, because I can't do open heart surgery. And so, you know, we all are ignorant. How you handle ignorant people is different than how you handle stupid people. Right. Stupidity is to know better, but still choose to do the wrong thing and to dismiss that knowledge which is at your disposal. See, that's stupidity. But when we take another look at this, we have to break it down even further, because something that I learned from my nephew, I have a nephew, David Strother, who is also a therapist. I'm very proud of him. But he pointed out to me, Uncle, there's also a such thing as aggressively stupid.
Aggressively stupid.
Aggressively stupid are those people who will fight you to stay stupid. Like when you try to inform them, enlighten them, share basic general information with them, if it is contrary to what they believe, you might get yelled at, fussed at, cussed out, punched, killed. They are aggressively stupid. And so how you handle them is also going to be different in the workplace. The reason why I love this breakdown, my nephew taught me this term because I myself I have a habit of giving people the benefit of the doubt that they are struggling with ignorance. And so when something comes up, whether it has to do with race relations or misogyny or whatever the case may be, I assume, okay, well, maybe if I provide some psychoeducation, maybe if I impart some information, some knowledge upon this person,
They don't want it.
they don't want it. And so what happens is, and my nephew has watched this happen, I will continue to
Yes,
try
you
to
do.
provide information to the person as if they're ignorant, and then they start attacking because they are aggressively stupid. And then finally my nephew be like, why are you talking to them? What do you not?
Brick wall.
They are aggressively stupid. You are wasting your breath. Stop it. And then I'm like, oh man, I forgot about aggressively stupid. Okay, so in taking a look at this, because the question is, how do I deal with stupid, ignorant people in the workplace? In the workplace, and you let me know what your thoughts are on this, Stacey D. In the workplace, let's say if the person is ignorant, they lack knowledge. And so you just share information with them. Oftentimes we, as African Americans, will find ourselves in work settings where we are clearly the minority. And sometimes when you are working in those settings, you will have coworkers and colleagues who have not been exposed to many African Americans, and they may say some things that are culturally insensitive. And so in those situations, we just have to, instead of becoming angry and offended, you just educate them. That's how you handle ignorance in the workplace.
That's true. Like, I've been self-employed for over 20 years now, but when I was in the workplace, can I touch your hair, Stacey? You know what I wanted to say? No, I don't want you to touch my hair. And
Right.
ladies, you know we have dealt with that. And also, oh, your hair look different today. That's right. They have wigs, and I can change them whenever I want to.
Right. And
Me and
so,
my locks.
we just have to provide education for stupidity in the workplace. That's when you pick your battles and you realize that no matter how much information you try to share with this person, it's not going to do any good. Now, I like to encourage people to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and don't jump to the conclusion that you are dealing with a stupid person. It's okay to try to, enlighten them a little bit, but you got to get out quick. Like, as soon as the stupidity comes out, you got to get out, especially if it begins to go in the direction of, being aggressively stupid, because that's not appropriate for the workplace. Now, this is different when it comes to family, because the people we work with, we have to work with these people. And so, you have to maintain a, civil work environment and a level of professionalism. In the family, ignorance is handled the same in families as it is in the workplace. You try to impart information and knowledge and whatever bit of wisdom that you may have upon the person. If the family member is stupid, and it'll quickly reveal itself if that is the case, then you just keep it moving. If they're aggressively stupid, you do not have to continue that dialogue. You still keep it moving. Like, the difference between family members and co-workers is co-workers, we still have to have some type of working relationship with them. Family members, like, if you got that one family member, I think everybody got that one family member that shows up like to the family reunion stupid every year. You do not have to engage in that and get sucked into that. And so those are my thoughts on how to handle, ignorance versus stupidity. First, you have to assess it and see what you're dealing with and then respond accordingly. But please do not make the mistake that I make, which is being determined that a person is just ignorant after they have crossed the line to stupidity, and then they cross the line to like being aggressively stupid. I'm standing there getting told off and still trying to impart information.
Exactly.
Please don't do what I do, because it never works out.
And you just get frustrated. or do what I do with the family, you're blocked. I love
Right.
that block.
You
And
can
it's
block.
real easy on the iPhone. You just hit their, you come to their contact, block,
And it's a wrap.
and it's a wrap.
Right. But you have those people who, and I hear this a lot in therapy, but they're my family. They're my family. Like, I'm stuck with them. I can't not talk to them. That's my cousin June. That's Cletus, my third, cousin twice removed. Here's the thing. As adults, what we realize is that our family, yes, we have our family, but at the same time, we have to realize that as an adult, you choose who your family is. Like, my best friends are as close or closer to me than many family members.
This is true.
And because those are my ride or die. They're
Ride or
there.
dies.
They're there in the good times. They're there in the bad times, compared to, a cousin here or there who comes at me aggressively stupid whenever I see them. So you have to think about it. Everyone has a right. We all have a right to be treated appropriately
Exactly.
and to be respected. And just because someone is a family member does not give them a right to treat you in a manner that is demeaning and disrespectful just because they are determined that they're going to be stupid or aggressively stupid. It's not okay. It doesn't work like that. So, what are your thoughts, Stacey D?
I totally agree with you. Just like I'm real big on that. I am not going to be verbally abused. I'm just not.
Right.
I'm just not. And I just let it go. And I forgive them. And I'm done with it. Because even in the Bible, it says that our brethren and our sister, we just don't have to deal with them. But
Right.
as long as we forgive them in our heart for the trespass that they done towards us,
Right.
it's good. I sleep well at night. Most nights if I take a pill.
Which is important.
I don't sleep too good at night.
Stacey
but I'm
D.
not sleeping good at night because I'm worried about what somebody done said to me. No, it's just that my mind is always going, and I'm
Think about the next thing.
thinking about the next bag,
Right.
trying to secure the bag for my children and grandchildren. But no, I can't let those things worry me.
I'm glad that you touched on forgiveness, because a lot of people do feel like in order to forgive someone, that means you have to continue
No,
a relationship with them. And I always explain to people, forgiving someone does not mean you have to go back to hanging out with them.
no, it doesn't. And forgiveness is for you. It's not for them.
Because-
It's for you.
Exactly. The weight of not forgiving is so heavy. It's a heavy
Yes,
burden
it
to bear.
is.
And that's something that, and I have to remind myself of this, because in situations where I feel like I have been wrong, I struggle with forgiveness. But I have to remind myself, when we forgive a person, it's not necessarily for them. It's to free ourselves
That's
from the
right.
weight and the burden
Yes.
of carrying that
Yes.
hostility and that resentment.
Mhm.
But when a person apologizes, do not feel like you have to continue to hang out with them, because here's the thing. Some people apologize and they sincerely mean it, and they plan to amend. They plan to modify their behaviors to move away from those things that they did that was offensive to you. But a lot of other people apologize and they are still the same person they were when they committed the act that left you feeling humiliated or offended or whatever the case may be. And so, no, just because they have apologized does not mean that you are obligated to continue to have them in your life. Something to think about when it comes to forgiveness, and this is the only thing that has helped me to be able to forgive, is that we cannot ask God to forgive us for our sins and for our missteps if we are not willing to forgive others for theirs.
Exactly.
And so when I remind myself of that, that helps me to get over that hump, because otherwise I just get stuck with, I can't believe this fool did this to me, like, and the resentment sets in because I don't take it well when somebody does me wrong. It does not go well. It typically does not go well for them. So, you know, I'm glad you touched on that forgiveness piece.
Forgiveness
is important.
It's very important. And you know, and I look at it that I consider myself a very important person. And for me to give you my time and to let you into my space, that's an honor. Just like with any other person. Not that I'm better than anyone else, but I just believe that my time and my space is important. And I have welcomed you in. And you should be glad.
Right.
And I should be glad if someone welcomed me into this. It's very important. It's very sincere.
Well, and you know, here's the thing. We're living in a time, we're in the middle of a global pandemic with as many as 4,000 people dying every day. We do not know how much time we have on this planet, and we cannot take that time for granted. And so when you are sitting back and thinking about how you're going to spend that time and who you are going to spend that time with, you do need to be careful about that. And so just because someone is a family member, if they have been a consistent source of pain in your life, you do not have to spend whatever amount of time that you have on this planet in their presence and in their company. You don't have to do that.
You sure don't.
So,
wow, this was good, Gerald. I mean, JP. Sorry.
I am Gerald Payne Craddock. Okay. We need to go to commercial. Take a quick little commercial break. And we will be right back with Stacey D.
And JP.
There you go.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
Where you at, baby?
Sure, I'm at my first alma mater, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. CAU was the first HBCU in the southern United States. Shout out to our affiliate ATL Talks in Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone getting out there to vote for those 2 Senate seats. We love you.
That's what I'm talking.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bake Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAWN, of and about our community.
This is the last weekend before Christmas, and on Blues Time in the City, we're wrapping up our all-Christmas blues and Southern Soul program.
Gene Bailey.
We have a very special guest that you will definitely enjoy, and we'll hear from some of the artists that sing the Christmas blues. Join me, Gene Bailey, for Blues Time in the City this weekend before Christmas, right here.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
Todd Tribbett, we gonna be all right here on the Jamal Bakes Show. I'm your brother in Christ, Jamal Bakes. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, fam, for another weekend, all right? We've got a big show for you, man. As always, the Rose Show Live will be here with her Faith Move next.
Hey, everybody, we're back. And we are here today with Brent Okay, hey everybody, we're back. We're here with Brandon B. Will Williams from Esports Board KC. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, love having you. So usually this is the part that we do at the end of the show. But today, since we're doing our monitoring parenting segment, I wanted to invite you in. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
All right. So today's question is, how do I address my ex from saying negative things about me to our children? That's a good one, isn't it?
Yes,
Ooh.
it is.
Yeah, that's a real good one. That can go on both ways, on a mother's side and a father's side. Whoever's doing the ill sayings, they need to really think about the damage that it's doing to the children or the child, because you're trying to make your child take a side, and there cannot be a side when your child love you both equally. And that will most definitely cause problems in the home, running up therapy bills. Isn't that right, JP?
This is a common issue that presents in therapy. Absolutely. What I usually suggest to parents is when they address this with the other parent, because this is something that usually occurs when the parents are at war, and a war consists of battles. And so when you address this with your ex, come from a place of how it is affecting the child and plead to them to not make the child a casualty of the war between the two of you. Because the mistake that a lot of parents make is they'll become angry and they'll confront the person, but they're confronting them responding to what they have said to the child about them, and coming from a place of, I am upset, I'm offended, how dare you say this to me, etc., etc., etc. That's their goal. Their goal was to upset you. So addressing it from a perspective of, I am hurt and upset that you said this about me, you are only promoting the behavior and fueling those fires. But most parents, if you come from a place of, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. You do not have to like me. You do not have to love me. You're free to hate me. But you are doing psychological and emotional damage to our child by saying these negative things to our child. And just stick to that. And when you put the person in the position of saying, listen, I want you to decide, do you want to hold on to your hatred to me more than you want to be a good parent to your child?
Exactly.
Do you hate me so much? You hate me more than you love your kid? So you willing to do psychological and emotional damage to your child so that you can have the satisfaction of knowing that you waged this attack upon me? That's the way to come at it. And really, when I am dealing with those parents in therapy, that's how I address it. And they want to go on and say, well, he did this or she did that. It's like, listen, I'm talking to you about your child right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because I was actually in the same predicament, because I'm a divorcee with a child and we was trying to co-parent. And I actually went to my ex-husband and was like, I apologize for anything that I've done to you. I'm so sorry. But in the midst of this, I don't want to mess up my child. Our child. It didn't help, but at least I did my part in it, and I felt sorry because also when they're in that situation, the child know that they have the upper hand, and they are really going to play the parents against each other, and it's just not a good situation at all. Brandon, have you ever had any of that happen before?
Oh.
I know people that have ever happened.
Yeah, definitely. Both sides. Me personally, I had kids young, rather young. 22 was when I had my first. I had twins at that.
Oh, wow.
It was tough. We're no longer together, so of course we had to go through the valleys, the peaks of it all. I can't lie and say I hadn't had my own, been on the wrong side of this before. I mean, it comes with being mature. I think you got to learn to be mature. And ignorance is a bliss. So when you got a pissing match with the parents, and both parties are immature, sometimes it can just go so far. And in the Black community, not all of us have the access readily available to do therapy and things of that nature. So what I did, I had to find a middle ground. You had to find some peace. You had to find your happy place, and whenever you find that, then that's when you can try to correlate something with the other party involved, to where it's all about the kids. So yeah, I definitely went through it.
Yeah. And reminding oneself, I'm glad that you said that. It is all about the kids. I always tell parents that from the time you become a parent, those children are the most important thing. They come first. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter, that, because this is something to take into consideration when people move forward from a breakup and they're trying to choose, and they're dating and different things like that. You have to remind yourself that once you become a parent, you give up your right to put yourself first.
Definitely.
Until those kids are fully grown. And so if everyone would start by asking themselves, how could this affect my child? How is this going to be in the best interest of my child? Asking oneself those questions would prevent a lot of these situations where, you have a parent who is saying horrible, negative things to a child and about the other parent, putting the child in the middle. And oftentimes what this does is it can result in the child beginning to exhibit some behavioral problems, some emotional problems. It kicks them into one of the adjustment disorders. And that's something to be careful about. Also, the thing for parents to keep in mind is how we handle relationships and breakups will play a very key role in how our children handle those same things in the future.
I agree. That was real good, JP. That was real good.
And if I could piggyback on something off of that, it also matters when the kids are going to be grown eventually. So you don't want your kids to have common sense or be able to put two and two together and be like, have resentment to that parent that actually turned them against the other parent.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
So I think that's big too. I mean, like the young parents, y'all have to get past the ego, get past the social media. What is the word for it? The stereotypes, the goals, the stuff that you see that the younger parents and younger generation do see nowadays. You got to get past that. You got to be able to live in your own body, in your own space, in your own element. So I think that's big.
Right.
The kids will eventually be grown, and they will be able to depict what was right and what was wrong.
And have some resentment towards you. This is true. This is true. I think this was a good segment. What you think?
Yeah.
So also, going back to last week about our monitoring parenting segment, we discussed how do I help my children do their virtual learning. So what I'm going to do is do 5 study families. And if you'd like to be one of my study families, I'm going to go out to the home. We're going to start at a baseline and see what we can do until the next quarter on helping. And I myself, with some toolage from Gerald, really, because I'm going to be the one in the home. And we're going to do a study group and see if we can help you with your children with their virtual learnings. I'd like to give a shout out because I had one of my niece and one of my nephews had their whole class watching me, Jace and Ken. And Ken said that she liked having her own space in her room but she likes to look out the window a little bit. She don't like hers against the wall. And Jay said he do like being in a common area in the living room or on the bar in the kitchen to do his work because it gives him more freedom. So that was from the mouth of a child.
I think that this is a great idea, Stacey D, that you are going to be, going out into the homes and assisting parents with getting some structure in place when it comes to this virtual learning. Because like I said last week, this has become a very common issue presented by families that are coming into therapy. It's a big adjustment. It's a bigger adjustment in what people think, trying to make sure your kids get an education while you're in another room working, virtually. So this is a great idea. I can't wait to hear. Or are you going to give us updates every week on?
Yes, every week you will get an update. So once again, if you can hit us up on our Facebook page, if you can also you can email me at speakingtheunspeakable 0608
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. And hit us up on our Facebook page. I'll be out there for our families. I will be out there, and it will be pro bono, which is odd for me. I'm giving it back to the community. Okay, so let's go back to our spotlight of our minority business. So once again, I most definitely like to thank Brandon B. Williams from Esports Bar here to come out to see us today. Just a couple of questions, Brandon. What is an esports bar?
Esports bar is electronic sports. Esports is what they call electronic gaming. And then you couple that with a bar. So it's Esports Bar KC. So we just have a multitude of TVs. So we do live sporting events. Hint that Super Bowl Sunday. We also do kid birthday parties, private affairs, A to Z. We've done it.
How did you get started in that?
I'm a lifelong gamer.
Oh, okay.
I'm an original Nintendo kid, so.
Oh, Nintendo.
I'm a Nintendo kid, so.
Okay.
I had to have it. I knew it would bring out our demographic. I knew it would be it would give people that happy place.
That happy place.
That happy place, that nostalgia. It'll bring it back.
How is it set up for, people like myself who, because I'm not much of a gamer, how is it set up in the bar?
Well, when you come inside the bar, you won't even be able to see the gaming consoles. So if you're not a gamer, no big deal. I mean, you can't even tell that it is video games in there. But it's stacked up. I have 38 TVs together, and each wall parallel to each other. They're stacked upon each other. So the top TVs we utilize for watching sports, and the bottom TVs we utilize for playing video games.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so
7470 Neiman Road, Shawnee, Kansas.
Okay. Although I myself am not a gamer, my kids play video games. So is this something that what's the age range of people that are, because it's a bar. So I'm assuming is this just for adults, or can kids come in also?
Kids can come since COVID. A lot of things have changed since COVID. But before COVID and now as well, it's like a family deal. Because you bring your kids there, you can enjoy your drinks, your food, and you will let them play the game, uninterrupted, which they're not going to pay any attention to you for real anyway. I tell a lot of single parents, and especially like dads or either moms that get their time on the weekend, kids love the video games. A bonding experience with your kid would bring them out to the bar, maybe for some one-on-one, play the game with them for a time or for 30, 45 minutes. Then go get you something to eat, get them something to eat, have a beer, 2 or 3, and the kid's gonna love it. The kid's gonna say, when next time I can go to mom's house, or when next time I'm going with dad, vice versa, because of the time that they spent. It's like you're getting a chance to fall into their, I keep on saying happy place, but I guess that's the happy place. That's what we're trying to get to is, is a happy place.
Yeah, it's something that they enjoy. Tell us a little bit about the menu because you mentioned food.
Yeah, I'm upset because we didn't get no chicken wings, JP.
You should have came in here with some food.
Chicken wings are the bomb.
Well, you know what? It takes 4 hours to cook them things. We smoke them.
And they're healthy.
Yes, they are.
This is good.
So we do smoke wings this Sunday. Excuse me. We'll be rolling out the food truck. So we have our fried wings, our smoked wings. We're gonna do our jambalaya. We got some homemade chicken noodle soup that we're premiering. That's we die for. Okay. What else are we doing? Fried shrimp baskets. We're doing an apple peach cobbler this weekend. So yeah, we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna open it up a little bit. We have a food truck that's connected to our building. So.
Oh wow.
That's where we do most of our cooking at.
Okay, so Brandon, we have like 30 seconds with you. Can you give us a little commercial about what's gonna go on at Esports Bar on Sunday?
Esports Bar KC this Sunday. Doors open at 4:30. Bring your game face. Bring your cowbells. Bring your foghorn. We're gonna go up. Do you hear me? We're going up. It's gonna be good vibes. Never any problems at Esports Bar KC. Wow. And we're just looking to party the night away. We're going to paint the city red this Sunday.
And let everyone know how you all are handling it with regards to COVID and social distancing. How does that look?
Oh, that definitely is in the play. With social distancing and COVID, we all pretty much got the same hand. So all fellow bars and restaurants, we just got to do what we got to do. But it will be COVID-19 mandates will be present and be enforced.
Okay. So tables, kind of a little bit more space, and
so get there earlier. Get your early bird tickets on Eventbrite. So you check out my Facebook page or my personal page or the Facebook page, business page, or the business page on Esports or on Instagram to let you know.
Can you tell me about the Facebook, the name of the Facebook page, please?
Oh, it's Esports Bar KC is this Facebook page.
Okay.
And that address one more time.
7470 Neiman Road, Shawnee, Kansas.
All right.
Wow, Brandon, your mom must be really, really proud of you.
I think so.
Wow, she's a hell of a woman.
I think so.
That was really good. I also want everyone to see my shirt that I have on. It's really nice. It just really has my attitude on it. You see the woman?
Run it back.
Run it back. And this was from Spirit.
KC Chiefs.
Yeah. And this was from Spirit Apparel. She's on Facebook and everything. I love you, Debbie. And also, our next guest next week will be Keisha Hunter. She's an author. Why do you feel like this? I'm sorry. Why do you feel like you can't? It's a great read. She will be here with us next week. She also has a credit counseling service also. She most definitely is a sister on the move. Okay. I have a Black History moment. I want everyone to look up. His name is Garrett Morgan. He's an inventor. I just gave you the name. I'm gonna let you do the work on it, okay? Closing. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in today for Conditional Speaking the Unspeakable with JP and Stacey D. Like us on Facebook, email us your questions and thoughts to speakingtheunspeakable0608@gmail.com.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, worry about nothing and pray about everything. God bless and take care.
Bye-bye now.
All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW.